Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Laura Rohlfing, and she's going to share a little bit with us about a couple of different aspects of her involvement here at Valley UU. One of those is in supporting and coordinating our efforts with Ascend, who does an IHELP program. That's like an alphabet soup. So I'm going to let Laura tell us a little bit about what those two things are and what it means to help coordinate activities with them.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to do this. First of all, I don't know if ASCEND is an acronym. The organization used to be known as Chandler Christian Community Center or something like that. And for various reasons, it got changed to AZCEND, which is known as ASCEND. I think in part to make it less religiously affiliated and to put more emphasis on the helping rather than who is doing the helping. That, because that was one of the things that put me off at first when it was originally named that, because I really didn't consider myself in that category and I didn't know if it would be appropriate for me to help there. So when they changed to that name, I was happy. And how I got started in my involvement was a long time ago, pre-COVID. I had originally been a UU and I came back to this congregation probably about maybe 4 to 5 years ago altogether. And one of the reasons I wanted to come back was to become more involved in community helping in the community, but I wanted to have a group of people to do it with rather than just doing it by myself. My original involvement in this kind of a issue was with Paz de Cristo. My next door neighbor has actually been volunteering with them for 40 years, so I got recruited by her. And so I've been doing a lot of work with Paz de Cristo, which I'm not doing as much of anymore, but I evolved over into Ascend, and actually Sue Ringler, our former administrator, was kind of my original contact for that, and she set a very good example for what it's like to be a leader in this kind of an organization, and I always was grateful for her involvement and her leadership skills, and she just made it look so easy. So then the pandemic came, and basically we kept the sanctuary open, but things got a little bit shaky in terms of where the leadership was and which direction we were going in. And basically the guests were more or less left on their own, except for the food that was brought. And when the pandemic started to subside, it became apparent that more leadership was needed, although there was leadership and it was very helpful. I just thought there probably needed to be a little more on the spot, on the premises leadership. So eventually I decided to go ahead and take over the leadership position, although that was a bit of a struggle because I prefer to be the one who's helping rather than the one who's in charge, but I kind of reluctantly took over. And I'm very happy that I did it. Sometimes it can be a little stressful, as can anything. But as I have done it more and more, I've developed a lot of personal loyalty to the people who, not only to the people who were affected by the program, the people that utilize the program, but also the people that are in charge of the program, because they are obviously so committed. And one of the things I like about Ascend too is that it supports Chandler and Gilbert. Those are the two areas that it calls from, that it pulls from. And I don't know for sure if there's any association with Mesa, but I think it's mainly Chandler and Gilbert. And the Gilbert Center was initiated after I started the whole thing. And so for a while, I didn't even know about it. What is IHELP? IHELP, and this is funny, I worked with IHELP for 2 years before I knew it meant anything. I didn't realize it was an acronym because IHELP, that made sense to me. But it stands for Interfaith Homeless Emergency Lodging Program. Now, it is a program. It isn't just feeding the homeless, which is a wonderful thing to do as well, but it's an entire program which is built around helping people get back on their feet, whether it be helping them with rent or helping them get a place or helping them with utilities or groceries or whatever it needs. The main goal, one of the big goals, is to help keep people in their homes in the first place. And that's the IHELP part of it. The coming, what we do at our sanctuary is sort of like when the other efforts have failed, or maybe the person comes into the program when they're already homeless, which is usually what happens. Then they're offered not only the food and the lodging, but they're also offered the support measures. For example, job training, counseling, various things, various supports that sometimes help and sometimes don't, and not everybody takes advantage of them. But for those who do take advantage of them, they can really make something out of it. And the program itself it's a 90-day commitment. And there are quite a few requirements for the program. It's not just you sign up and you get in. For example, it's adults only. People with families are referred to other places, so they don't actually take care of children or anything like that. Yes, they do, but not in the IHELP program. There are other programs for them within the Ascend facility. But at this moment, I'm just speaking about IHELP. So it's a 90-day commitment from Ascend, basically, to provide food and lodging 24/7, which is a very big commitment on Ascend's part. But the people that sign up for the program also have a certain amount of commitment that they need to fulfill. So it kind of goes both ways. But ideally, 3 months is somewhat enough time to help out with that, but not always enough time to maybe get to the finish line of getting housing. They can extend their stay if there is room. At this point, we are requested to house up to 27 individuals, and that can vary quite a bit seasonally and things like that. But we are, when we sign up as a facility to house and feed our guests, we are signing up not only to provide food, but to give them a place to stay, and if at all possible, ways to stay clean. For example, Ascend does provide a shower trailer that is set up in front of the sanctuary, and that shower trailer travels from place to place, and so they not only get food and lodging, but they also get a way to be clean. And back at the community center, and should I say where that is? It's
Yeah, go ahead.
It's 345 North, I think it's North California Avenue. I don't have the exact address in front of me.
Yeah, it's basically
they look
next to
up,
downtown
yeah,
in Chandler.
if they look up azcend.org, they can find all that information
Right.
out. So my particular role in this is not only do I supervise the night, which is the fourth Monday of the month, when VUU is scheduled to actually provide the food in addition to the lodging. But besides that, I do, with some help that I've gotten recently, I'm there about once a week to supervise other food providers, which is also something that's a little bit maybe not known by everyone, that there is more to it than just the fourth Monday of the month. They're generally here about an average of a day a week, mostly on Mondays.
And occasionally we do a Tuesday, and we did it on Christmas
Yes,
Eve.
we did it.
There wasn't
Right,
another
and we
place
did,
to
yes,
stay.
and we did Christmas Eve and we did Christmas Day, which they were very grateful for. Because actually, it might sound odd, but holidays and weekends are the hardest for our unhoused clients, because there isn't anything open for them on the holidays. So they really do need a place to stay, even though that seems like that would be the least problematic time. It's actually the most problematic time.
And in some cases, a harder time for some organizations to provide that.
Yes.
In our case, I think we just felt like, well, we'll figure out a way to make it work. So
Yes, and that's
yeah,
that's kind of been my attitude ever since I started. Whatever is being requested, I will try to find a way to make it work, even though
yeah.
sometimes it's not always ideal. But these people are very, very grateful for
Hmm.
whatever we can provide, and they're very understanding of the limitations. And as far as I'm concerned, do a very good job of um, keeping our trust
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
um, taking care of the facility and taking
Yeah,
care of doing what needs to be done to make it okay for them to stay there again, which is a big
right.
motivation for them.
Well, it seems like a really important piece. I know with Valley Interfaith Project, we're working on affordable housing, and just my
Hmm.
awareness of how hard it is to find an affordable place to live right now.
Yes.
The fact that we're working with Ascend to help provide some shelter and other resources when folks are finding themselves unhoused seems like a really important piece of that bigger picture. We can't provide affordable housing overnight, so in the situations where folks don't have access to safe and reliable and affordable housing, we're here to kind of help fill in the gap, and I think that
Yes.
feels like a really important piece to me.
Yes.
Well,
And
and I've helped prepare meals. I think that's one of the ways folks can help. They can sign up to bring a piece or a part of a meal, and um, you don't have to bring the whole thing. You're bringing one part of it, which is I think a great way to help out when you can.
it's kind of
Um,
like stone soup
yeah,
in
exactly,
that way.
exactly.
I do
Um,
send out the meal uh, it's a sign up genius, which goes out not only to the specific people that have helped in the past, because there's a fairly extensive list of people now, of which you are one.
right,
Um, and then the meal request is also sent out on um, on the happenings.
right.
But
Well,
we
those are really important ways. You also do some work in the hospitality around our own community. You're part of the coffee team that has recently made a little shift in how we get folks to sign up. You want to tell us anything about being a Sunday coffee team volunteer?
That is another issue that's very near and dear to my heart, because I think it's a way that we are welcoming, and not only to people that have been coming, but to people that are new. And I think that when I first started coming back, I felt like that was an important piece for me, because it was a non-threatening way to mingle and get more information about things
Mhm.
without feeling like I was obligating myself to anything.
Right, right.
And which of course
What's
is
a
kind
little
of an issue, can
coffee?
be an issue for people. But
Yeah.
as with anything else, we're all busy. We all have a lot of things to do. And it has become apparent to me that there are kind of too few people trying to take on too much responsibility.
Mm,
Um, and I did send out an email which requested additional involvement, which I'm happy to say did get some response.
good.
And I'm really happy about that. But I also want people to know that we try to make it fun. It's not a huge obligation. You have to learn how to make coffee. It's not real tough. Um, and none of it in itself is real tough, but it's hard for a few people to do it all the time, because not everybody comes every week and things like that.
Right.
So what I'm hoping for is a little bit more like I help, in that people sign up when they can, and they don't have to do it for every week, and they don't have to make a specific commitment. And we fill in the gaps as we go, and we are very happy to provide hopefully some giggles and laughter, and some orientation and training. And I always tell my orientees to be careful what you wish for when you come for an orientation, because you'll probably end up helping me. But I really I don't remember anybody coming and not kind of having a good time. Sorry, my phone is
I
ringing.
mean, what's not fun
um,
about making sure people have something to drink and eat and
right.
a way to enjoy themselves after service? So, well, I think that's a really important piece of welcoming as well. And I also think it's a really easy way for someone to get involved if they're not sure what they want to do. It's a great way to meet other people, like you said, in a kind of non-threatening. You're not making a big long commitment. You're not trying to decide what you believe or think about something. You're just figuring
Right.
out how to use the
You're
coffee
just
machine and how to help serve people and clean up afterwards. And so I hope more people will sign up and find that to be an easy way to kind of put their big toe in if they haven't yet. Or if you're wanting a break from something that was more intense, this is a really great thing that you can sort of do in the in between while you're figuring out if there's another committee or activity you want to be more engaged in. It's
right.
one you can sort of kind of come and go, and like
Right.
you said, you don't have, if there's enough people, that saying, many hands make light work, if there's enough
Right.
people offering to show up and do this work, then it's not too big of a headache, and it can be fun and easy. I know I love it when there's treats after service, so
I mean,
um,
I think it's sometimes it seems like maybe it's not that big of a deal, but it is an important piece.
yeah, I
And I
agree.
think that I think that people would really miss it if we didn't do it.
You're
Um,
right.
and I, I hope that people understand that I wasn't trying to, you know, um, have it make an ultimatum or anything, but I just wanted people to know that, if we don't have somebody to do the job, unfortunately, the job is not going to get done.
Right, right. So sign
And
up, friends, sign
yeah,
up.
I'm just, and there's an extensive list of, an extensive list of detail by detail, thank you, Barb Quijada, of exactly what needs to be done and amounts and where
And no
everything is.
guesswork. We have a system. All you have
Yes,
to
there
do
is
is
a
learn a
system.
little bit about the system, and then you're good to go.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Exactly.
Well, Laura, I really thank you for your time today and every day that you show up and do things for VUU. It's a real gift that you bring to us, and your time and talent. And I look forward to seeing you again on Sunday.
Okay, and thank you.
Thank you. Hi, this is Reverend Sarah Oglesby-Dunegan, the Senior Settled Minister at Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. We're inviting you to sustain our community through new financial contributions, continued financial support, and increasing your financial support if you're able to do so. We need about $90,000 more in pledge income from last year's budget to support our continued work in this congregation. Maybe you've never pledged before. You can make a monthly, quarterly, biannual, or annual contribution through your own bank account or through our website. This is a lot how we support other member organizations in our community, but in this case we have about 300 members and another 150 or so friends who participate in our community, and we currently have less than 200 pledging units, families or households that make a pledge. What does this mean to you and your community? How much do you value the work this congregation does in the larger Phoenix metro area? With your contributions, we can make sure that Valley UU is still here for future generations that need a faith community that offers all the things that Valley offers. Excellent youth faith formation that prepares kids to live in a pluralistic community with respect for a wide range of beliefs and practices, grounded by a moral compass built from compassion, inquiry, accountability, and integrity. We also have adult faith formation that has a commitment to social justice and service alongside spiritual and intellectual development. We participate in interfaith community organizing, and we have worship that is engaging, renewing, and inspiring. We have a lot of mutual aid and care that holds us through all of life's challenges and celebrations. Valley UU is a healthy, interdependent community that values your contributions. Thanks for adding your special ingredients that nourish and sustain this community. May we find there is abundance where abundance is needed.